speaker is Dr. Lakshmanan Ramanathan, who is Head of Technology Solutions and Automation at Infosys BPM. Giving a brief introduction, Dr. Lakshmanan has over 20 plus years of experience in IT BPM sector. He has been integral in leveraging RPA and purposeful AI strategies to increase value through automation and innovative technologies. He has consistently built and led teams to drive change management, efficiencies, cost savings, and better customer experience through influential thought leadership. With this, please welcome him with a huge round of applause.
A lot of enterprises have lofty goals with respect to automation. Like almost you ask anybody, they said we want to do automation, we want to do digital transformation. And a recent survey that Infosys BPM has done with, in collaboration with 𝗃𝗄 Research a few months back, we kind of surveyed about G2K customers, and about 71% said they strongly agree that it is a priority for the C-suite. But you know what? They are struggling to extract values. So invested in a lot of automation initiatives, but many of them, maybe about 87% of them are saying that it is not delivering value. But why? And there are pockets of automation initiatives or technology initiatives. I'm speaking from the perspective of as a BPM service provider, kind of servicing our clients. There is an RPA bit, there is a process analysis, there are bits and pieces of cognitive, exploring into 𝗘𝗂𝗀𝗏 space, text AI space, but is this kind of working as a holistic view? Like I'm borrowing from the concept of a book from 𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗏𝗏 on intelligent automation. What he talks about is assuming a man is entering and trying to work, probably an eyes blind, not able to hear, a broken limb, unable to walk, not able to think. Like that, he's kind of conceptualizing that the automation initiatives in the organization needs to have all senses working together. The ability to see is the vision, which is a computer vision. The ability to execute, which is our workflow solution, the hands and legs, or the process automation and robotics or RPA. The ability to speech analytics, ability to natural language processing or natural language understanding, the language piece of it. And finally, the data, which is the brain and thinking piece, needs to work together. In many of our automation initiatives, either by design or lack of design, these initiatives are done by different groups, different departments at customer side or the vendor side, and the insights of these technologies are not benefiting the process. So this is an observation. And some stats here, 40% of licenses are only used, 60% or about roughly 2/3 are shelfware. Cloudification is happening, only 2 out of 5 applications are in cloud. There is a good scope for getting onto cloud. Less than 15 processes in the stats that we had surveyed have been onboarded onto structured workflow tools who are analyzing that data. Rest are still handling in a manual way, analyzing this email, ad hoc, working on Excel, SharePoints, etc. The shelf life of an RPA bot is about 9 to 18 months by design, that it requires a significant change, process changes, people changes, application changes, regulatory changes that adds to the shelfware. Process mining and discovery is being talked about. Roughly 1/3 of companies are effectively using it. And the last and major issue is like multiple ERPs. So it is broken process, and only 3% of enterprises are having a single ERP for their entire organization. So we classify the customers or the business stakeholders into 3 categories. One, as a automation champion, roughly less than 10% of the customers based on self-rating, who have a real mandate for automation throughout their organization, and they have a strategy, they have methodologies, roadmap, and are doing at scale. 23% are value hunters, kind of exploring something beyond RPA, getting into the champion state. And finally, about 67% are beginners, kind of exploring, still in their POC mode, bits and pieces. There is no center of excellence for automation. So this is, in order to have an enterprise level automation, I think I see that from the beginner stage, at least like the hunters and champions should be in the 50-60% categories. Now, having started the automation practice in Infosys BPM for the last 5 to 6 years, we have done multiple programs. I see this as one framework for successful journey of say RPA and beyond. So the top layer is what we expect the clients to do. The bottom layer is what we expect the service provider, the technology service provider to do, and having a technology platform and the right operations expertise. So let me kind of get deep into it. The client sponsor, whoever is a buyer for that particular process, needs to have a clear mandate for automation or digital initiatives in the organization and not do a lip service. By that I mean they need to have an aspirational target, an irrational target. The target can be an efficiency metrics in terms of savings or cost takeout or effectiveness or whatever metrics they would put. It should be kind of an irrational aspirational number, maybe upwards of 40–45% of improvement over the current baseline they have, and that needs to be in their scorecard. There are multiple digital initiatives that has failed because it is in the contract, it is in a presentation, but it is not institutionalized as a way of working, and that impacts the stakeholder, which includes the stakeholder at the customer side, stakeholder at the service provider side, and operations. So all these three stakeholders, and to an extent the product. So all these four stakeholders should carry some kind of a pain gain to make it work. Vision. A lot of automation use cases of the past are in shelf because there was a problem, some SME said we can automate, it was automated, now it is thrown. Instead, there has to be a vision for the process, how this process should behave 2 years, 5 years from now, and based on that, use cases must be extracted. The use cases goes through the lens of what we define as an SM model. First, eliminate the work that is not at all required, simplify the work, standardize, finally automate, and automate leveraging existing investments in ERP, and then get on to RPA. If you go through that kind of a structured work, we will be able to do. One example, what we have implemented is for a Europe-based health tech major, where we had kind of delivered about 1 million hours of savings over the 3 years journey. Use this framework, did first 1 year was kind of a disaster. We were about to kind of wind down the contract. Today we have about 700 plus bots, 1 million hours saved, and the program is still going on for further takeout. And the second part, what I see as the service provider or the technology implementation provider to focus on is to have a strong governance model. So at multi-level, flexible cloud, most of the services or processes in the BPM space have a peak, either a peak during season in the sales season or peak during quarter end, etc., where 30–40% of the staff are underutilized. So similarly, you will have digital workers underutilized. So get in for a cloud-based infra, a factory-based implementation approach, right from a business analyst factory to create pipeline. A pipeline that is created takes 9 months to see the light of the end of the day. So if you have kind of an harmonized single team working on, it's going to take underutilize that particular team. And finally, treat these digital operations as like the way probably an example is like air traffic command center. How many digital workers have logged in today, efficiency, what is not working, kind of 24/7 bot operations command center if you have kind of thousands plus bot that are working on. Now, there are 3 stages in the relationship maturity. Many customers, CXOs I speak to want to do automation, but contractually it is extremely difficult for the service provider to deliver automation, as they simply don't care. We still on the T&M mode, kind of like there will be a revenue concern, short-term pains with respect to why should I do more beyond what is contractually committed. So the service providers or the relationship is in the effort stage and gets onto the performance stage, and finally there has to be a larger purpose for automation. Why are we doing automation? And the contract should be structured in such a way that there is a pain gain for all the stakeholders involved. Otherwise, we'll get stuck in this particular stage 1, wherein the stakeholder actually pays for something, signed up something at the negotiation stage, and probably end up putting people to solve because the cost of people is cheaper than actually cost of technology. And many of the automation initiatives are not giving ROI, but we're still doing automation. So we need to have a kind of a purpose for automation. It's like, I would say, like if you have probably a 3-floor building or 2-floor building, you don't need an elevator, right? We can walk and there is no ROI, but ROI is actually the experience. It is a comfort that we are getting and the experience that we are giving to the stakeholders using that particular building, and automation will become like that soon. So the the three key takeaways I would say, one is automation is not a strategy, it is a discipline. It should be an enterprise capability that is inbuilt, like what we have embedded quality. Number two, automation is a change management initiative. A lot of automation adoption fails. The tool is technically a success, however, probably it is not giving the intended business benefits. So treat it like a change management initiative by embracing humanware, which is my third point. So human plus software is humanware. So while over a period of time we would have done a lot of efficiency takeout, the operations team that is involved and the business stakeholders should know that this tool or process will help them to enhance. I think Varun was talking about 100 million jobs will be created because of AI. Maybe some jobs of the erstwhile processes will go down, and these are the same people that as service providers we are responsible for educating the executives, the process executives on how they need to get upskilled. Then they become champions for advocating the automation initiatives. Any questions? Probably I have a few minutes, I guess, right, Swati? So you can reach out to me in any of these contact points. So thanks a lot, team. Thanks a lot, UPS Forums, for organizing this.